Okay, you guys, so this is, I think it's part 8. I'm going back in to this now, and you can see I've lightened this up a little bit. The fabric, I know a lot of people are kind of freaked out when it comes to painting fabric, and that's cool. It's just a little bit of illusion that we're dealing with. So I'm adding this paint. I'm holding on to the camera again while I'm painting. This is so difficult. I really don't like doing this, but you can see I've added, this is my up here, this is what I mixed yesterday. This is what I've come in and I've made it a little bit lighter, and I've added a little bit of yellow. It's a little bit warmer, and so I'm adding this on top. This is going to dry a little bit darker than what we had. So I'm just getting this back area, and that's before I start defining these other areas. Before I start defining these. And again, I'm working kind of rough. So I'm gonna start working on these shadowy areas below here. So I'm mixing a little bit of, again, I'm like holding the camera while I'm doing this. This is really awkward. And adding a little bit more white to this mixture. I'm trying to do this very fast. Oh, the other thing that's in here is also, what else is in here? I've also added some of the medium into this as well. That is the medium is the retarder. So I add a little bit of that in here. Again, what I'm doing now is just trying to block this stuff. I'm trying to block this stuff all in. So I'm trying to mix this while it's wet. So I'm getting this stuff down here. I can see that around here. This is going to be my lightest area. So I'm going into this. Around here. Again, I'm doing this while it's still wet. I'm not getting any details at this point. I'm just trying to get this stuff in, trying to get a sense of where the light is going on it. And all I did was add white to this. And back here is where this is going to get even, oops. I should have had a shadow in here. I can go back into that, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm going in and defining these areas like that. And I can see that this is getting a little bit lighter. Back here. So this is where it gets lighter. Notice I'm not paying too close attention to getting this absolutely perfect. Again, I'm thinking I'm still using a big brush on this and blocking all this in. So I'm looking for these areas that are the like this in here. So this is going to go lighter. So I'm adding white to these areas. And notice I'm just fanning this in like this. So I'm fanning it in. The paint is a little bit on the thin side, and the thinner paint is going to blend. There's a natural kind of blending process with the layer below. So it's going to blend with that. I'm going to add a little bit more white to this. Add a little bit to extend this a little bit further. But so this is where I want to get up in these areas, like this. So again, this is kind of like my initial blends. So I'm adding these together, and I'm trying to work pretty fast here to lighten this up. and that's to get it before the paint fully dries. So getting this lighter up here. Again, I'm not really defining these. I'm not going into close definition, so there are no details. I'm just, again, blocking these in at this point. So this blending process is maybe there's different methods for doing it, and so I'm using these different methods at different times to blend the paint. So again, I'm getting this a little bit lighter up here, a little lighter up here. Again, I'm going to go back in and define these better later, but this is my starting point with this. So I'm making this a little bit darker at this point. So this is going to fade a little bit darker over on this side, like that. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on these shadows down here, down in the bottom. I'm going to keep defining these a little bit more. I'm going to go over those kind of quickly, and I'm going to come back in just a little bit.